Oh, hi. I'm a smart investor. I dare say that because I understand the cryptocurrency markets and I am up to date on every new development, fintech and blockchain ecosystem. All because I watch the Inside Blockchain show on Crypto TV Plus. Every Monday morning, Crypto TV Plus brings you news headlines of top stories, interview with an expert, and give you detailed market analysis to enable you make the right business moves. Now you too can become a smart investor if you don't miss it. The Inside Blockchain Show, only on Crypto TV Plus.
Welcome to a brand new day, brand new week. Today is the 6th of March 2023. Hello and welcome to Inside Blockchain, your one-stop for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host, Faith Ekwari. If this is your first time watching this program, make sure to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated in the ever-evolving world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Do well to turn on your post notification button. Now, the 25th of February started off as a big day for Nigerians as the 2023 Nigeria presidential election was conducted across the 36 states of the country, which later transposed to a tensioned and chaotic day. Amidst the violence and illegality that unfolded, the final results of the election announced the presidential electoral candidate under the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the president-elect for the next 4 years. The incumbent president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has about 85 days till he officially leaves the office. President Buhari, over his 8 years tenure of leadership, has achieved few, although many people beg to differ, as we have seen the highest rate of poverty, unemployment, insecurity, and destabilization in the economy in the past couple of years. Some citizens across the borders of Nigeria have shown displeasure towards how the election was handled and conducted, calling it a rigged election because it has not expressed the true intentions of Nigerians. The outcome of the 2023 presidential election has also gotten the blockchain community talking as to why blockchain technology should be adopted and utilized in every industry in Nigeria, especially in building a more structured political environment. Now, with the emergence of a new government, the fate and the future of Nigeria's economic and financial ecosystem, alongside blockchain and cryptocurrency ecosystem as regards to adoption, education, regulation, and even taxation, is still very uncertain. Today, we're delving deeper into what the outcome and the voting system would have looked like if there was inclusion of blockchain technology. We'll also be looking into the future of crypto and blockchain within administration of a new government, if the president-elect will foster inclusion and a more friendly regulatory framework for blockchain and cryptocurrency, and also how blockchain and crypto can help the economy and financial ecosystem to build a more stable, innovative environment for Nigeria. It's a big topic today. Now, before we get into the conversation and I introduce my guests, let's go on a quick break. It's going to be an interesting one. Don't go anywhere, stay with us forever.
Tola Joseph Fadugwagwe, founder of Crypto Masterclass and a crypto enthusiast, said this in a Twitter thread. INEC declares Tinubu winner of 2023 presidential election. At this point, we need to start clamoring for blockchain system of voting. I have been saying this for years. We can't continue to watch the job of those destroying the country come easy by stealing our mandate. Harvest.ether, another crypto enthusiast, responded to the thread saying this. People who didn't successfully adopt common electronic voting system will adopt blockchain. Crypto Pigeon analyst also said this on his Twitter page. Welcome to a country where the thugs are being protected by the police. During his acceptance speech, the new president-elect may have encouraged some youths and answered these doubts as he responded by saying this.
The youth, I address you first. Let me repeat.
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency, only on Crypto TV Plus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bull of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that. Peace.
Welcome back, everyone tuning in from around the world. This is Inside Blockchain. Today, we'll be discussing the just concluded election, the voting process, and what the impact of blockchain technology could have done from the voters' choice to the voting results, and what we should expect from the emergence of a new government for us, the blockchain and crypto community, and the country at large. Joining us here is, the popular crypto lord, Emmanuel Ayanse. Did I get it right?
Yeah, they are very well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Thank you.
Also joining us virtually is the CEO of Convexity, Adedeji Owonibe. It feels amazing having you here.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Now, if this is your first time watching this program, make sure to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated. Do well to turn on your post notification button. We have a full house today, and we're going to be having this conversation around the election, a new Nigeria and blockchain revolution. I have top people in the house today. I feel a little bit tense myself, having to converse with such important people and knowledgeable people in this space. Now, let me start from Crypto Lord here. It has been a tense weekend and a couple of days for Nigerians across the borders, in and out of Nigeria. Why do you think so much importance is being placed on the election and its outcome?
You mean in terms of blockchain?
Yeah, blockchain, crypto, and also the community at large.
Okay. Let me start with blockchain and let me start with the crypto community. It's no longer news that Nigeria as a whole, like we are number one or number two most populated crypto community in the world. And since crypto actually came into Nigeria, like I started this crypto stuff, blockchain stuff since 2016 or thereabouts. Like we haven't have any framework for like government relation with cryptocurrency and all that. Today, it's legal. Tomorrow, it's illegal. Today is here, and we see kind of with that kind of framework of how crypto is going to go on and how it's going to be. We see so many harassments and from police force, from security agents, and all that. About people who are going about the business just doing their legal crypto stuff and all that. And also the perception of this security force linking these Yahoo guys with cryptocurrency and all that. We saw, was it in last 2 years, 2020 or 2019 or so, thereabout, when CBN said crypto transaction with banks is no longer allowed. And then federal government say, okay, this is just within the bank. It doesn't mean that people can actually do cryptocurrency and all that. I remember the space we had with EFCC. They said that crypto is illegal or something like that, but just that, okay, there are some framework that, okay, you cannot transact above 5 billion. So this kind of disparity and this thing and that, we haven't been able to actually come to a conclusion or to a final point that, okay, this thing is this. These are the framework. These are how we should go about it. If you want to do cryptocurrency, this is how you're going to go about it.
So do you think that the election is what the community is banking on to change the regulatory framework in Nigeria?
The election has to do with so many things. With the way the country is governed, and many people have lost hope with the Buhari administration. The man hasn't been around. He hasn't been around in governance. He hasn't been involved with that kind of this thing. Like, if you have to see a country that is actually working, when federal government gives out a particular notion, everybody is supposed to be carried around. We don't need to see CBN coming up with their own regulation. This one
just feels like a little bit of division across all borders.
It seems like there is no coordination among the three. So everybody in the space is actually looking towards okay, if we have a new government who understand what is actually happening, and it is coming in, is going to restructure all those things. And if you have to say, okay, crypto is legal, this is how you're going to do. Nobody is going to be arrested. Nobody is going to be harassed.
Crypto Lord, let me get back to you. Mr. DG, let me get to you. Why do you think this election is really important and its outcome is important, especially in the blockchain crypto space and also, in the country at large?
Thank you very much, Faith. So fundamentally, The election itself is super important because most Nigerians, I will have just said all Nigerians, but most Nigerians believe that we need a fundamental shift, from where we are coming from. So we have this strong belief from what Emmanuel was saying there that maybe the leadership do not really understand this new economy that is opening up, and a lot of players within the blockchain and cryptocurrency space are looking forward to somebody that understands this space, that can resonate with what is happening with young people, and will be able to allow that energy for people to do stuff and create things and move our country forward from where we are now. And that exemplifies the kind of hope you see in everyone, trying to make sure that, okay, this is what is needed. I just discussed before we joined, some people travel all the way in my polling unit, for example, travel all the way from the United States with their family. They needed just to vote. Remember, I said I was coordinating my polling unit. I was giving numbers to people to vote, and that gave me insight to the kind of hope Nigerians are having in the leadership, as promised by INEC. So there's a whole lot of trust, there's a whole lot of belief, and people have to take that process. I understand some people even have to come register, collect their PVC, now travel down to come and vote. And you know how it is, how difficult this whole process is. But people are determined that they need to bring some changes to what the status quo is, and therefore they need to put their vote where their mind is to make sure that they engender that new leadership that you're looking forward to get. So that is why it's very critical, at this point, that people come out to vote because they believe is a fundamental shift to where they see Nigeria should be moving to.
Mr. Deji, hearing what you just said, is obvious that you have been very active, during the electoral process. Now, with the state of the country, the reputation of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is being questioned. Now, let's go through the electoral process, from moving of the ballot boxes to the voting process, and then to the implementation of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS. Where did it go wrong, and what would have blockchain voting system done differently in terms of the voting results, the process, and also the electoral environment at large?
So again, we have to, in my view, commend INEC and commend the Nigerian citizens, and commend the legislatures for trying to even give us that thing that looks like a resemblance of an electronic voting. Right? If you are following the polity, you discover that there was this back and forth debate with the House, with Senate, whether we should vote electronically. It was turned down long time, even when Jega was in the office. They never wanted it. And somehow there's a little push, and there was a little success, I would say, that, okay, now we can even vote and possibly do some, INEC was giving powers to decide if they want to use technology. And they came on that, 2022 Electoral Act that was signed into law by the president, that gave INEC that mandate to say, okay, you can actually run this electronically, but just decide the modes and the styles and the guidelines on how you want to do that. For me, that's a fundamental shift to what we have been asking. That is a very swift thing that people want to see, because again, the way we're doing it, we all followed up during the last election that brought in the president. I mean, second to the last that brought in the president during Jonathan. And we saw how, the INEC chairman then, Jega, have to wait with tally, with calculators. And we say this is an eyesore. This does not represent us as Nigerians, because we are very tech-savvy generation. And this should not be what our country exemplifies. And I think they listened to that. 6, 7 years down the line, we now have a way to actually do electronic, to have electronic devices included in our voting process. And so the bimodal verification and the BVAS tool, the fundamental thing, I think it did work. I think I can speak to that in my polling unit. Accreditation was done very, very swiftly. I was accredited very swiftly. Those of the people that their faces are not captured, their fingerprint work. So by and large, if you have to assess INEC with the work of BVAS, because again, I think there's a misconception out there that BVAS is actually was supposed to be used for voting. I think it's just an authentication tool, and it worked exactly what it's meant to do. So you can authenticate people very fastly. I think I took less than a minute, checking my name, and I think It was a photo, and I brought out my profile, and I was given the ballot paper to go vote. So to that extent, that Beavers tool worked. I think where it refused to work is the transmission of the result. And not that it didn't work, but I believe maybe possibly there are human elements in the whole process that engendered what we're seeing currently. So this whole thing will have been a thing of the past. And I want to believe a lot of people have been shouting, oh, they will have used blockchain, oh, this will have been the saver, all that issues. I believe INEC understand this whole thing. They have an IT department. They are talking with a lot of people. They are talking with international organizations. They know all these technologies that are happening. Whether we are ready to adopt these technologies is another thing. So I watched on the TV, somebody was saying, please, can somebody tell INEC, have they ever heard about the word blockchain first? Ever? You know, he was asking, have they ever heard about any word blockchain? Why can't they use blockchain to send an immutable result that nobody can alter for all Nigerians to see? So I believe they know. I think it has to do with that mindset to be able to do that, with that willingness to be able to do that, with just consciously determining to move forward and to make sure there's no rigging in the system. And because that's the only thing, if I have to answer your question very straight, that is the only thing that will bring transparency in the electoral process. That is the only technology today in the world, yes, that can guarantee, the sanctity of individual vote. So if they use blockchain,
Mr. Deji, before you continue, because I know you still have a lot to talk to us about. Let me get to Crypto Lord here and get his view on it before I come back to you. So what could have blockchain technology done differently, especially when it comes to the results? Because that was where the major issue came from. That was where the major challenge came from. The results, points of getting people to know exactly who won at each polling unit. Because a lot of people had pictures of their polling unit numbers, how many people won in their polling units. And then when it got to INEC, it was a different number entirely. And a lot of people are saying, no, this is not what we planned for. So what could have blockchain done differently that would not have, allowed a certain level of infiltration from the hands of a third party?
Yeah, I will get back to that question, but I want to actually say something about the last election. Like my friend here said, the Beavers actually worked. It wasn't the problem. The Beavers wasn't the problem. The technology INEC actually planned to implement for the election wasn't actually the problem. The problem is just the system is actually very corrupt, and they didn't actually upload the results, the real results that they actually have. They didn't actually upload it on the IRF, which actually made them to actually start using manual process, whereby they said, the IRF was actually hacked and all this and all that. But it wasn't actually the problem. And talking about blockchain, if you don't have a society of, if you don't have a sane society whereby everybody has this fear that if you do this kind of corrupt acts, you are going to be punishable for that offense. There is no technology that you're going to bring that is going to work in this country. First of all, the mindset of the people have to be changed. This whole corruption thing has to be actually minimized. Because how will you, okay, if they're having problem with IRF uploading results, just to ordinary upload results, with the one they even uploaded, we've even seen some of them, they're uploading nonsense on the portal. They will go and bring polling unit this one and to upload to this one. You see, the technology that INEC actually deployed was actually the problem. The problem is that the staffs and the INEC staffs, they are all corrupt. They were actually complicit of the whole problem.
So what you're saying is, even if blockchain technology
was to be in play too, they will still do the same thing that they actually
but
did.
With the immutable nature and transparent nature of blockchain, don't you think that it would have been foreign to or hard for them to have infiltrated into the system?
The only place blockchain will work is if each person could cast a vote. Like what do they call it? How will I put this? Like in DeFi, you can actually use your token. There's this DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. You can actually use your token to cast a vote. That one you cannot actually use. You cannot actually do malpractice if each person each Nigerian citizen probably was given a token that this is your this is what you actually have access to this voting process. You just go
Or
there and
even
you
in a
cast,
place of like an NFT or
yeah,
something.
NFT or anything, and you just go and you cast your vote there. There won't be problem.
So all we'll have to see is that the results will just directly be
Yes.
okay.
But when it comes to uploading of results, the human factor will be there. If you say for people to go and do thumb printing and later they'll go and upload it on the blockchain, they will still do their rigging before they go and upload it to the on the blockchain. So the only way blockchain could actually work very effectively is for them to do something like a DAO.
Mr. Deji.
Yeah, so for it to law, yes, I think he's right. He's right. But for us to be able to bring that transparency into the system is that the complete thing has to shift to technology. So we have to minimize to the barest minimum the interference of that human, those corrupt elements. Every human have that instance of corruption, and that's why the blockchain technology try to build itself a greater percentage. So we can have a human, touch to it in a small percentage. So, for example, I see blockchain solving the whole problem really. Just greater percentage of it, blockchain will take it up. Blockchain is a truth machine, and I love a book here. I like reading the book here. You can see the truth machine is about the blockchain. In fact, there's a logo in my office, the truth machine, because we are looking at INEC as the single source of truth in this whole thing. We're looking at one body as a single source of truth in one electoral process, and they are not ready to engender that. So if blockchain is used, of course, like to just paint the scenario how we think that can work. So number one thing, I think I posted on my social media, a day after the election, and I said to rig election where blockchain is used will mean that you have to hold the entire voting population hostage at the same time, which is not a possibility if we do that. And so that is the only way. And to say you want to avoid changing 2 votes to 22 and some that are 22, you say 0.2. The system, if it is integrated with a blockchain technology, will bring what we call a special property called immutability protect system. And this one is just to throw the IT department of the INEC or whoever is in charge back to the traditional one. So we all know SQL. We know our PHP or any other traditional database system which is used today. You can insert in those technologies. You can update those technologies. You can delete votes in those technologies, right? But in a blockchain system, you can just insert data but one, and you cannot update it, you cannot delete it. Hence, when you insert something inside of this whole technology, it stays forever, and no one can manipulate it. And so the name immutable ledger is the fundamental thing that will bring, transparency to this Nigerian election. Building a blockchain solution, give each and every individual a token, like was mentioned, create also decentralized data, because again, building a blockchain itself is not enough, but it has to be decentralized. And therefore, if one server goes down, another one is still transmitting our result to us. And so in decentralizing this, INEC can be one of those people that will have a node. INEC offices can be also be able to have those nodes. Political parties will also have different nodes. So meaning everything going on is there with their approval, you can't change. Then we have our system electronically casting it with offline capability. We have built this stuff. That is why I'm feeling very sad that as a company, a very small company at that, we have built a solution where you can do most of this thing we talk about, because they will come with again the hula baloo of, oh, there's no network across Nigeria. Hey, there's a technology that enables offline capability, that have offline capability that will upload those things when online technology, the network comes up, and you don't have any power to alter anything. That is what I think we have to do. And I think, as a matter of fact, we will be stepping into INEC as soon as they finish all this whole process to begin to look into this. Good enough, I have access to the IT department of that INEC department. I think I had a few meetings with them earlier before this election, and I was shocked. If I had my doubt, immediately I stepped out of the INEC headquarters. Because that day I went there, I have a few meetings with the Deputy Director ICT, and he said, oh, we can't conclude this, I need to take you to our new director. Do you know what? The director came around December was when they posted the director ICT. And so they removed the former one that did all the beavers. So I was doubting, why will you remove somebody that had been the one doing all the plan to that day? Because the man resumed office that day. I was able to see him that day. And I said, congratulations. He said, actually, you are the first guest I'm seeing on resumption of this table. So it means it's new. It means many things can happen. So many things will have gone wrong with whole the infrastructure of the IT. So I was not shocked. If there's any hacking, if there's any other thing, I was not shocked at all. So this is how we have to go with this immutable system. Let this citizens have token that will enable them that one voting right. Let them go to a technology that they can vote on that can have the offline capability for them to vote, and it goes directly. And all the people that need to see the collation of those and how it's populated are different nodes that are stakeholders, from INEC, INEC offices in the 36 states, political parties in that race. All of them will maintain a node, and everything happening they are seeing in real time, and nobody has any power to alter it. Until we begin to look at this seeming technology that does not make any sense now to the country, then I believe that is the only thing that will change the whole thing, like that book that I showed earlier to say is the truth machine. So we don't need to trust INEC because we know they can't do anything. And if anybody gives any money, anything cannot be changed. Eventually, what we see is what we get, and everybody will be satisfied. I think we have to just look at those models.
It's really sad. It's really sad that we have a technology like this that can change some of the scenarios that we face during the electoral process. But yet still, we're still here to get the results that Nigerians want at every point and every twist. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. We still have Crypto Lord, who is joining us here physically, and also Mr. Deji Owonibi of Convexity joining us virtually. We'll be right back. Have you checked out this video on how to sell your NFTs in 5 minutes? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Your NFT might be the next on the radar, like Isekai Meta I'll be talking about today. Grab some popcorn, let's learn about another NFT. Isekai Meta is a story and community-driven, hand-drawn NFT collection plus metaverse brand that taps into the foundational human needs to connect with others through story. 7,770.
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency only on Crypto TV Plus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bull of the Bull.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that dial. Peace.
Welcome back everyone tuning in from around the world. This is Inside Blockchain live on Crypto TV Plus. I am Faith Equari, and I still have Crypto Lord here in the studio with us, and joining us virtually is Adedeji Owonibi of Convexity, and also joining us to, get around this conversation is the founder of Sabi Group's Lucky Wakwe. Lucky, how are you doing today? Good afternoon. It's amazing. It feels amazing to have you here. Crypto Lord, at this point, looking at how much has happened, we can't actually go back in time to actually change the situation. But is there any way blockchain can resolve or administer any certain level of remedy to the situation on ground? We had Peter Obi, one of the presidential candidates running under the Labour Party, come out to say yesterday that he's going to defend the results, and there'll probably be a court case or a court situation before the end of next week. So what do you think? Is there any possibility or any way we can find a way to use blockchain to remedy the situation at this point in time?
You mean the future? Or
can we do anything now, or it has to be in the future?
Oh no, nothing can be done now. Currently, P2B Labour Party, they have already submitted their case, the file in the Supreme Court to challenge the ruling of the INEC and the APC in the last election. There's nothing anybody can do now. There's no technology that can do anything now. The only thing there is the Labour Party and P2B just need to get their evidence, get everything, like each polling unit, just get all the results. And it's only the court that is actually going to determine now, because the whole process is done. They've announced winner. So the only solution now is court case. Probably we end up in Supreme Court, maybe after tribunal and all that.
But Mr. DG, looking at how much of corruption has been, going on the ground, especially when it comes to this election, do you think anything can happen, from the blockchain point of view or the crypto point of view or community, or looking from the point of protesting as a community against the results that we have right now? Do you think anything can happen?
No, not really. For me, the activism will be before the election, and the only civilized way to show whether you are happy or not, both Obi and Atiku, they are the front runners. I think they have done the best thing, and that any civilized country can do, is to say we are going to court and we're disputing this result. So the onus is on both of them to show that actually they are winners in this election and they have been rigged out. And the onus is also on APC to show that they actually won the result as declared. So for now, those are the only remedies left. What the community will be able to do is an aftermath, like Emmanuel is saying, for us to be able to now galvanize the position to say, look, there's no rocket science here. And there's no rocket science because we can do little elections and test out this proposition that we are having. Test them out in small election, in local government, in councillorship, if you like, whatever it is, and put in blockchain and see the transparency that will be able to be shown. Because again, if there's any alteration, it will show to everyone. If there's anything, it will show it will be open to everyone. So you don't even need. So that's why when I was addressing the Nigerian Bar Association, the Ikeja branch, and I said, we are moving into a way where it will simplify their evidence, really, because you could just query that to see what happened, and everybody could just be able to see it. Because again, whatever has happened on it, I cannot vote and you say, oh, my vote, if I vote for party A, is there and nobody can change it. So you cannot come again and say I voted for party B actually because we're using this solution. So for me, I think it's advocacy. It's for us to engage INEC, to engage the country, and beautifully too. Most of us, I think we should go through those documents. We have a document we have worked, we have put together in around 2020 and in 2021. And it's called the National Blockchain Strategy for Nigeria. And we have completely INEC issue around voting inside. We have a lot of ideas that the country, as a country, they say we are going to pursue this strategy along many years. How government is going to have its own very large blockchain enabled for government transactions, every segment, finance to whatever it is, to healthcare, to data, to mention them. The whole strategy is so beautiful. I think it has not been adopted yet. It's still in the draft level with the Ministry of Digital Economy and NIDA. And I think this is what the industry can say, look, push forward this strategy, follow this strategy, and see the beauty in actually bringing some little part of this technology into our votes, because there's always human factor. And when you have that human factor in it, in Nigeria, you can't trust anyone. We have this very, very, very serious trust deficit. Like, we believe money can buy anything. And that is what we're seeing now, possibly. We're not too sure, because I'm having little disagreement with people. And I say, look, the INEC guy that the chairman that everybody is putting across on the guy to say, oh, this is the most corrupt, it's possible the guy have no connection with whatsoever thing that is happening there. He wanted to see the best election. He wanted to see that everybody that have voted, his vote counts. But again, down the ladder, the employees got compromised, and of course, he has to answer the whole thing, and that's what is happening. So even him, I don't think this is the most difficult period in my view that will be in his life if he's that transparent, like I alluded to. But again, those are things that will just make sure that everything is free and everyone can see what is really happening, really.
I mean, Mr. Deji, as much as I always like to agree with you, I think I'm not going to agree with you on this one, saying that the INEC chairman probably do not have anything to do with it. But that's another conversation. Probably
maybe
when we get on the phone, we'll probably have that conversation. maybe. Lucky, what do you think about, because you're just joining in, so let me get your opinion on your take on the election and blockchain technology, where blockchain technology could have brought in a certain bit of change, especially when it comes to how chaotic the entire electoral process was.
the first challenge to the current election that have just been concluded in the Nigerian electoral system is actually coming from two phases. The first one is in the area of certain manual process. Can we automate that very part? If we can automate the process of bioverification, which everybody bear witness to, that they were validated first before they were even given the voting slip itself to thumbprint and cast their vote. If we can validate that in electronic means, it means we can also close the other gap, which is the part of giving somebody manual paper and the person thumbprinting and later counting. But in if that part is removed, then yes, blockchain can play a critical role. And how can blockchain play a critical role in that aspect? It will just be the same machine that was used to validate any individual can become the exact point where each and every individual will vote. Just as you will first of all validate to be sure that you are who you say you are, the next phase will be also immediately casting your vote on the same machine. And if you do that, it automatically gets uploaded. Like you don't need INEC needs time to collate first and then upload or count later before uploading. All right. So that gap of where INEC needs to count, INEC needs to do the recording themselves before INEC will not upload is where I think people have had issues in terms of the current public results. So blockchain can fix that gap if it is adopted. The second part of where the problem is that it's not that we don't have such kind of technology in today's world, or it's not like Nigerians cannot create such technology. It's a case of where we are even seeing a system or an institution that is refusing to follow its own guidelines or principle, as it were. So even if we have a blockchain-based voting system, and for whatever reason the institution choose not to follow it, it's as good as not being useful. It's like a case of somebody buying the latest iPhone and yet, or the latest iPhone or iPad or whatever, how sophisticated a device will be or what it can do. If you do not know, if you refuse to operate it, the device cannot be of any use to you. So even if we were to adopt blockchain technology and we see institutions or governments who's refusing to play along its own rules of utilizing a particular technology that has been created, then even if that technology is there, it's as good as useless. But I think blockchain can play a role, and the part where blockchain can play a role is in closing that gap where there's room for rigging, and that part where every a majority of Nigerians are currently having issues with INEC is in the area of what, after people thumbprint, after you validate them, they are all good, but after the validation, people were either disenfranchised by not giving them the immediate paper for them to vote in some center, in some polling units. I was a witness to that because I also voted. All right. In some polling units, we saw places where people were not given the paper, but yet they were validated. So if blockchain were to be a solution that would have fixed that, it would have just been easy. Immediately you validate that same device, you would have just immediately cast your vote on the same device. And that same device where you validated, cast your vote, would automatically just be uploaded to the server. So you don't necessarily even need where the polling unit agent themselves needs to first of all confirm if the numbers are tallying. You don't even need where the INEC official who is at that very polling unit needs to click one button called send before it gets uploaded. You don't even necessarily need, at the end of the day, the picture after everybody must have signed. It would have just been a case of where, as I'm validating, I'm voting, it's updating automatically to the party where I have been given, where I've given my vote to. And once the entire process ends, it will be able to pull out a plain result sheet in accordance to how people must have voted. At that way, each polling unit will automatically see the final result of their polling unit and hold that as evidence in case if the one that have been sent or uploaded on the particular blockchain that is being used is tampered with. And moreover, if it's blockchain solution again, yes. And moreover, in a blockchain solution, again, tampering with data would also be able to show you need certain level of amount of work. That is depending on the type of work, type of protocol that they use for that particular blockchain solution. You need to do certain level amount of work. There will now be two chains that will show something of an invalid nature. People will begin to question the process, and even at that, if I am to use that of the way Bitcoin protocol work, after every 10 minutes, the true chain will also readjust itself again, more like what they call reorg. All right. And this would have been the way to which blockchain would have
Yeah,
succeeded.
yeah. So I think we'll probably have to come back to that question so that I can elaborate a little bit on it. Maybe not on today's episode, maybe next week episode we'll try to get more hints on what happened and what blockchain could have done differently. So to wrap up today's episode, because we still have a long way to go, we'll still see a court case happen between Labour Party and the APC and INEC too. So we're going to be looking forward to that and covering it at every point and twist. Crypto Law, do you think this new government will foster and promote regulation, education, and adoption of blockchain and cryptocurrency in Nigeria? That is the Tinubu Ahmed administration. Why are you laughing?
Well, I'm just laughing because because the way it's looking like, I'm not sure he's the one that has the mandate yet. But apart from that, I think any new administration that is going to come in, blockchain, crypto may actually be later part of the administration.
Not the forefront.
Not the forefront. Because Nigeria has so many problems currently. And I will tell you for a fact, the issue of this currency fluctuation, when you go abroad, you discover that Naira is cheaper there compared to Nigeria here. And people abroad, they actually make use of that arbitrage a lot. That is to show you that people here living in this country, Nigeria here, they have actually lost hope. For somebody that is willing to sell, when Naira is trading for, let's say, 700, somebody is willing to exchange 800 Naira for $1. It shows that, man, this money I'm holding, it doesn't actually have value. The one you are going to give me has much more value, which doesn't actually tells the real actual value of this currency, but it shows that people morale are very low. People are tired. People just want to give up. People just and if you see people that are leaving, many people are actually leaving. Currently now we can't actually make use of our banks and no money and all that. So I think the government that is going to come in, whether P2B or probably Tinubu, I don't know, or Atiku, they actually want to actually try to get the people along first before they actually start thinking about blockchain and all that. But it will be of interest and it will be a very good thing if the presidency of P2B actually come into place, because when you look at it, it was actually the youth that actually campaigned for him and all that. And you see P2B talking much about the blockchain, youth activities and all that. I think that will actually give the security force, the CBN, fear to actually reduce their tension on this thing,
Okay,
what do we call it, people actually doing cryptocurrency.
Yeah, so because we are running out of time already, so let's get our two people, Mr. Deji and Lucky. Let's get your take on it. Mr. Deji, first, do you think this government, if is Ahmed Tinubu that's still going to be the president of Nigeria for the next 4 years, or Peter Obi comes into this scenario, do you think the new government will foster and promote regulation, education, and adoption of blockchain and cryptocurrency in Nigeria?
Yeah, so I think if you go back to the manifestos of the three leading political parties, from PDP to I think that of Labour, I'm not sure I went through it very well, but that of PDP and APC, they all wrote there they will promote blockchain, they will push that, they will make all those things happen. But like most of the speakers alluded to, Nigeria have myriad of problems, really. No money. We are running trillions of naira debt and a lot of capital and things to be done. Poverty is all over the place. I think blockchain will take a back seat, in my view. We'll just keep pushing it. Adoption will continue. So for us, our role is still cut out for us. We keep educating the stakeholders. We keep educating the regulators. We keep educating people as much as we can to make sure that this is imbibed. We also help to guide in law making that will engender the acceptability and deeper adoption of this technology. There's so much to actually be done. And I think I'm not blaming most of them that they are wrong rushing. Even those that have rushed into it are beginning to also have some prudential guidelines to ask the banks not to serve them anymore and all those issues around the world. So there's a confusing atmosphere in the whole technology. It's new, and which is also acceptable. But we just keep pushing. We keep pushing. We keep advising them. We'll keep also doing what we can in our own little corner to what it is. Like for this voting now, I expect that the industry should make some kind of strategic statement and also be able to be available to assist whoever is there. Of course, for now, it's Tinubu as the president-elect. Whatever the Supreme Court says, at the end of the day, we'll support that mandate and keep on building the country. Democracy is coming little by little. We believe that what is happening now should not happen. But again, possibly it's part of the process for many years. Because I was just watching 1954 yesterday on YouTube, how Nigeria became seriously corrupt. And I was just watching exactly what is playing out here in 1954, 1960s. It's still the same thing we are repeating today. So it's not looking like we are actually learning anything. When I watched it in the days of Adegbenro, Akintola of this world, Awolowo, Sardauna, and all those are all the things that played out that the military came in. And we're still playing those joker cards up to this moment. So, well, maybe it's a learning point. It's a very fragile one, and we're very, very young when it comes to democracy. But we're looking forward to seeing all these lessons taken. And I want to believe that INEC will never remain the same after this whole noise. So they have to look at the notes and make some changes and improve.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Lucky, let's get your take on this question to wrap up the episode today. Do you think the new government in place, will foster and promote blockchain and cryptocurrency in Nigeria? Let's get it in 1-2 minutes so that we can wrap up today's episode.
Yeah, I think that definitely they have no reason not to, especially looking at the manifesto of this political party. I was privy to have read some of them across all political party, and I saw that maybe they want to take it seriously, but it's just that Nigeria have shown that it's a place where what is written on paper and agreed might not necessarily be what might be carried or implemented at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that in accordance to the manifesto, they will. Based on that, I would say yes, they would have to, including the president-elect. I do not see a reason why he shouldn't. By the way, in his acceptance speech, he did make mention of something around the youths and a thriving environments that will foster youth, and blockchain as a technology or within the ecosystem of blockchain is a place where youth have really thrived, and as such I do not expect him not to carry that out. Lastly, the national blockchain strategy is one thing that I do not I would want that irrespective of whichever political party that come in place, they should adopt it. Reason being for the fact that Nigeria is looking for a place where they could get an additional source of revenue. Emerging tech or new tech like this are places where they see an opportunity to create more jobs to the traditional ones that exist. And failure not to do that might also, at the end of the day, impact the overall performance of that particular, any of the particular person that ends up becoming the president. That is post if they do say otherwise at the Supreme Court. But for now, I do not see a reason why they would not want to adopt it. Yes, I believe they will. Hopefully, they follow their book.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lucky, for joining in. Thank you, Mr. DG Owonibi, for always, coming to give such knowledgeable opinions on the topic that we discuss every time on the Inside Blockchain and Crypto Law. Thank you for also coming here. Feels amazing to have you here. And that will be all on today's program. You can get more market updates and all the happenings captured within the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency on our website, cryptotvplus.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at CryptoTV Plus to get daily info on our programs. Thank you for staying with us. I had Crypto Lodge join us physically in the studio today. I had Mr. Adedeji Owonibi of Convexity join us, and also Mr. Lucky Uwakwe join us today. Thank you so much. It has been an amazing conversation, and I hope you tune in for the next one. I'm Faith Aquari. I'll see you next week.